The time is 2 a.m. UTC, 6 a.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, and 9 a.m. in Cambodia. All amateur radio traffic, please stand by because you're now listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, heard Thursday nights here on the N5OAK repeaters and the KA5B University Link repeater system. We will not have any scheduled pauses for emergency traffic, but we will yield the air to any breaking emergency. With that in mind, please leave room between check-ins and transmissions to allow for any emergency traffic. I am transmitting tonight from Honga Tonga using the 147.320 repeater located at the Y in Oak Hill. You can reach us via Echolink by connecting to the KA5D-R or N5OAK-R Echolink systems. For All-Star access, please use node 51444 or 40933. For more information regarding the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, the N5OAK repeater system, and how to become a member, please visit n5oak.org. You can also participate in this net using the University Link repeater system. For more information about the University Link repeater system, please visit ka5b.com. If you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system and wish to participate, please be sure your tone is set to 114.8 Hertz. For the University Link repeater system, set your tone to 97.4 Hertz. For club members, we also have our very own Thursday Night Net channel on Discord, so swing by and say hi to folks hanging out there during this net. My name is Garrett, KG5KVJ, and I'll be your net controller for this evening. This is a controlled net. Stations should refrain from transmitting until designated check-in or comment times. If you are new to ham or just new to the net, the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net is a social net. We get together every week to share knowledge, ask questions, and hang out. It's very easy to check into this net. In just a bit, I'll ask for check-ins and take down a list of stations who wish to participate. If you'd like to follow along, I'm going to be using NetLogger, so just search for OHARC Thursday Night Net, and you can follow along with us as we take check-ins. Once we have everyone checked in, I'll go down the list one at a time and give you the floor. Feel free to ask questions pertaining to ham radio. Tell us something about something you've been working on, or just say hi. We just want to hear from you. If you missed the first round of check-ins, don't worry. We'll get you in the next round. Please avoid topics of politics, religion, or anything else potentially inflammatory. Please keep it clean, nice, and appropriate. It is time for a station identification and the opening of the net for check-ins. Please stand by. This is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5OAK. We are here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. If you're just joining us to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system and wish to participate, be sure your tone is set to 114.8 Hertz. If you're using the University Link repeater system, please set your tone to 97.4 Hertz. My name is Garrett, KG5KVJ, and I'm your net controller for tonight's net. It is time for short-time check-ins. Short-time check-ins means operators who cannot stay for the entire net. I will not take general comments for the short-timers. If you check in as a short-timer and later want to rejoin the net, please feel free to recheck. You get no points for checking as a general or a short-timer, so it is absolutely, fantastic that you do check in. So if you're busy or kind of busy tonight and want to check in, come with your name and call sign.
This is Alpha India 5 India Romeo, short time, no traffic.
This is Kilo India 6, Hotel Quebec Tango, Ken in South Austin, no traffic.
Short-time check-ins, please call now. Just rattle them off. I'm pretty good at this, so keep them coming. KG5, KVJ here.
KF5 and OK. No traffic.
Kilo Alpha 5 Charlie, no traffic.
So I have, for the first round of short time check-ins, they're going to do AI5IR. Samuel, what you got for this week?
Not much, but I will be operating CW for the first time tomorrow evening or Saturday morning, depending on the weather, so look out for me.
Well, good to go. Thanks for checking in. Next on the list, I have KI6HQT Ken in South Austin. What you got for this week?
I actually have no traffic. I'm just checking in very briefly because I've been sitting in this chair all day and want to get up now. Back to you.
Roger that. Thanks for checking in. Next on the list is KI5NLK, no traffic. And the last station, I totally missed it. It was Kilo India something. If you'd come back and give me a call sign again, I'll get you in the log here. Nothing heard, so I'm going to move on. Is there a second round of short time check-ins? Otherwise, I'll just move on. So short time check-ins, second round, please come now.
K5JM.
All right, I got K5JM. Any more for a second round of short time check-ins? Nothing heard. K5JM, Sam, what's going on this week?
Hey, thanks for running the net. Not too much there. I did make, I guess last weekend there, some contacts for working on my Worked All Safe for CW. So knocked off Alaska and Maine and a couple ones I've just been kind of hanging out there, Wyoming. So yeah, it's been a good week radio-wise, and that's about it. Back to the net. K5JM.
Roger that, Sam. Thanks for checking in. Yeah, the band Smith, they're opening up a little bit. I'm noticing some more activity on 10 and 11 meters. So I'm going to do just a really quick third round just for any last short time check-ins. Any more short time check-ins, please call now.
Kilo Echo 5, Delta Papa Zulu.
All right, we got Kilo Echo 5, Delta Papa Zulu. Any more? Nothing heard. So Kilo Echo 5, Delta Papa Zulu. What's going on for your week?
Oh, enjoying playing with antennas and playing propagation. Always nice to see how far one can reach out. KE5, CTV, enjoying listening.
Well, fantastic. Thanks for checking in with us. Short time. All right. So before we go into regular check-ins, we're going to do a review of a question or two from the FCC's current general exam. If you have a technician class license, this will give you a sample of what the test is about. If you already passed your general exam, it's always a good thing to review the material. I'm going to pass it over to Ernesto, KI5PZN, for the next questions. Take it away, Ernesto.
This is KI5PZN. Hey, Garrett, thanks for running the net tonight, and everybody out there listening and ready to participate. Well, we're going to start the questions tonight. Boy, oh boy, I have some awesome questions for you tonight here. And the first one is, what must you do when powering your house from an emergency generator? What must you do when powering your house from an emergency generator? Alpha is disconnect the incoming utility power feed. Bravo, ensure that the generator is not grounded. Charlie, ensure that all lighting or grounds are disconnected. And Delta, all of these choices are correct. Alpha, disconnect the incoming utility power feed. Bravo, ensure that the generator is not grounded. Charlie, ensure that all lighting ground are disconnected, and Delta, all of these choices are correct. So if you have a technician license and you would like to participate, play, that would be really cool. Call in now with your name and call sign. Well, sounds like you guys are shy tonight. All right, well, let's open the floor to everybody. If you think you got the answer, come in with your call sign, name, and your answer.
This is KF5DPX. I'll go with Alpha.
This is Kilo Golf 5, Kilo Victor Juliet. I'm going to go with Alpha as well.
All right. DPX with Alpha and KVJ with Alpha, and that is correct. Let's do another one. All right, what precautions should you take whenever you adjust or repair an antenna? What precautions should you take whenever you adjust or repair an antenna? Alpha, ensure that you and the antenna structure are grounded. Bravo, turn off the transmitter and disconnect the feed line. Charlie, wear a radiation badge. Delta, all of these choices are correct. I'm going to read it again. What precautions should you take whenever you adjust or repair an antenna? Alpha is ensure that you and the antenna structure are grounded. Bravo, turn off the transmitter and disconnect the feed line. Charlie, wear a radiation badge. And Delta, all of these choices are correct. So if you have a technician license and you would like to participate, please come in with your name, call sign, and your answer. Technicians.
November 5, AFC, Jared. I'm going with Bravo.
We got Jared. Who else wants to participate? Technicians. So open the floor for everybody. Anybody who would like to participate, come in with your call sign and your answer.
KF5DPX, Bravo.
DBS, put me down for Charlie.
AI5HP for Bravo.
All right. AFC with Bravo, DPX with Bravo, BBS with Charlie, and Aaron, HP with Bravo. And the answer on this one is Bravo. Well, thank you guys for participating. And if you're interested in getting your ham license, if you are planning on getting your technician license, or if you already have a technician license and you are thinking about upgrading to general, we will have our next session, our next in-person test session will be on January the 7th, I believe. You can check it out on Discord. Be more than happy to have you there. So think about it. It's coming up. It's a great opportunity to go and get your license. All right, well, this is KI5PZN. Back to net control.
Thanks, Ernesto. And I do want to give a shout out to Ernesto, KI5PZN, as well as Sky, M5LX so far. This is a short time sort of deal. I didn't have a whole lot of time to prep for this, so I appreciate y'all rogering up. So I'm going to get a quick station ID here real quick. This is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5OAK. We are here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. If you're just joining us, the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system in which to participate, be sure your tone is set to 114.8 Hertz. If you're using the University Link repeater system, please set your tone to 97.4 Hertz. My name is Garrett, KG5KBJ, and I am your net controller for tonight's net. Next, we're going to pass the mic now to Sky N5LX for tonight's news. Take it away, N5LX.
Hey, Garrett. Am I hitting the repeater okay? This is N5LX. If not, I can switch to a different antenna.
You are sounding absolutely fantastic. Full quadding 5.9s over here.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, all right. If I can get my mic cord to reach over to my computer screen here. Okay, here's a summary of the space weather report from Space Weather News. Dark coronal hole plus new bright regions. Our sun will switch gears this week with active regions that produced big flares and radio blackouts last week, rotating to the sun's far side. Reset. With a dark coronal hole rotating into the Earth strike zone. This should result in improved radio communications on Earth's day side, with increasing probability of auroral activity on Earth's night side. GPS users should be aware that if auroral activity increases, it could adversely affect signal reception during dawn and dusk hours. Reset. And this is a summary of the current K7RA solar update. A total of 10 new sunspots appeared in the first 2 weeks of November, though sunspot numbers and solar flux remained relatively modest, which is reflected in current solar flux forecasts. I don't know if this next part is accurate. It looks like we've had a little bit of a downward trend since then, but anyway, he says, during the first 2 weeks of November, the average solar flux index rose from 129.9 to 137.9. The average daily planetary A index fell from 13.7 to 13.4, with the middle latitude numbers falling from 14.3 to 9.6. Reset. Solar flux of 105 is predicted for November 18th and 19th, and from 110 to 114 for November 20th to the 23rd, with the overall trend of an increasing solar flux index for the remainder of the month, followed by an estimated decrease throughout December from a peak of 120 and back down to 114, but with some variations expected. Reset. Current solar flux index is 119, with a planetary A index of 2 and a K index of 0. The current sunspot number is 64, and the noise floor, that is the noise contributed or attributed to solar activity, is S0 to S1. No space weather storms are predicted for the next 24 hours. Reset. I guess I can, you want me to read like one or two stories like for ham news?
Yeah, go ahead, paraphrase them or give what you got. Get your 5KBJ, net control here.
Okay, cool. This is N5LX for ID. Okay, so I just wrote down a couple. Here's one, let's see. NASA chooses hams to help copy Orion's signal. Now that the Artemis has been dispatched on the uncrewed Orion spacecraft on its journey to the moon, 2 hams will be on board the mission even though they're keeping their feet solidly on planet Earth. Amateur radio operators are part of the 18-member team of volunteers who will be tracking various parts of the 25-day mission, recording whether it is possible to copy Orion's signal. NASA said that they will also track and measure changes in Orion's radio transmissions. Reset. The team will include satellite enthusiast Scott Chapman, K4DR of Vermont, and amateur radio astronomer Scott Tilley, VE7TIL of British Columbia. The 2 amateurs were chosen to join the efforts of space agencies and international companies from Canada, Germany, Korea, and elsewhere. Reset. Okay, and just one more I'm going to add here. It says, taking a closer look at transistors after 75 years. The IEEE's Electron Devices Society has set aside much of the coming year to mark the transistor's 75th anniversary. Considered by many to be the foundation of the electronics industry, the transistor was created at Bell Labs in New Jersey in 1947. Reset. The transistor was created at Bell Labs in New Jersey in 1947, sidelining vacuum tubes for most electronic applications. Its development garnered the 1956 Nobel Prize in Physics, awarded to scientists John Bardeen, Walter Brattain, and William Shockley. And now, many years later, recognition of the transistor is taking on new life, starting next month. Reset. The IEEE's Electron Devices Society will be holding a series of meetings and conferences into 2023 devoted to the transistor and so many of the devices it inspired and made possible. First program is the IEEE International Electron Devices meeting to be held on December 3rd through the 7th in San Francisco. Reset. There will also be plenty of written material to read about the transistor in the coming year. Society members will be writing a book about how the transistor was developed, and the EDS newsletter and IEEE Spectrum will be publishing technical articles about the transistor in the months ahead. Sorry about the last part there. N5LX, back to net.
Thanks, Sky. That was some fantastic work there. Really enjoyed a lot of those stories. So I'm going to open it up. If anybody else has any comments or questions or any more news to present, please come now. Nothing heard. All right, so the next thing on the list is Fox News. However, I'm not sure if Jeffrey's around. KI5 MVF, do you happen to be around to present some Fox News? That silence sounds like a negative. All right, so I'm going to pass the mic now to Rusty, WZ5BBS, our president, with the club and trivia announcement. Take it away, Rusty.
Howdy, Garrett. Everybody on the net. Good to be here tonight. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, we have a trivia net right here every Friday at 9 p.m. We had 34 players last week. Leonard, KI5NLC, was the number one. Holly, W5LUL, coming in second. And Norman, W5ZOT, in the number 3 spot. The elimination round got, I guess it got a lot easier. Dave, KI5STT, made it all the way to level 7 out of 10. So it's been a while. It's been like, question 2 or 3 has been getting everybody. So congrats, Dave, for making it all the way to level 7. I'm sure you all will find this very surprising, but Kent, KI5RBT, our very own trivia robot, he's still in the number 1 spot. He's logged over 132,000 points. So good for you, Kent, for hanging in number 1. Anybody can play. All you need is a smartphone, a tablet, or a computer. We got the bingo starting up at 8:30, so you have something to do while you're hanging out waiting for the net to begin. All the details are online to check out the player rankings, stats, net logs, anything you want to know about the Friday Night Trivia Net. Visit n5oak.org and click on the Trivia Net tab. For official club business, I was very surprised when I logged in to see that we have 841 new members to the club since last Thursday. Looks like a bot got a hold of our script for the new members, so I've taken it off the website. So we're still hanging tight at 475 members that we know of. There might be some hiding in amongst all of the, the random crap that's in there. So we'll see if we can't get that fixed soon enough. Next club meeting is going to be January 21st. All of that can be found on the website as well, n5oak.org. I would like to wish Chad, KC5AJE, a happy birthday. His birthday was on Monday. So happy birthday, Chad. I heard you talking about it on the repeater, so it's officially on the calendar. So so yeah, happy birthday, Chad. And Chad has also signed up to be our newest net controller. So now you have to egg him on in the Discord and find out when his first net is going to be, because I'm looking forward to that for sure. As far as fox hunts go this weekend, I don't think we have anything on, so that changes rather quickly though. So check out the Fox Hunt channel on Discord and see. Sometimes even when we don't have planned foxes, we have fox hunts. So it's one of the cool things about the club. Also, DMR repeater. We've got nets every night on the DMR repeater. I noticed that we had a couple of DMR radios for sale on the swap meet. So maybe somebody's got a new DMR radio, or if you want to pull it out of the closet and update your code plug, that is a good reason. All the schedules and times can be located on the calendar. Guess where? At n5oak.org. And if you're new and you want to know what we're up to and when all the nets are and what all that kind of stuff is, the easiest way to stay up to date is to subscribe to the official club calendar. You can head over to n5oak.org and click on the calendar tab to make that happen. You can also go add your birthday, like Chad didn't, but I did for him. So yeah, go throw your birthday over there. That way we can wish you a happy birthday. That's all I've got, Garrett. I think that'll do us. So thanks for running the net, man. And we'll see you further down the log. KG5KVJ, WZ5BBS. Back to net control.
Roger that, Rusty. Thanks for those news announcements and the accolades here. I'm going to do a station ID real quick. But before I do that, are there any questions, comments, or concerns or other announcements to follow Rusty's?
KZ5AJE.
Go ahead.
Just really appreciate the birthday announcement. As I get older with my kids and wife, my birthday becomes a little bit less meaningless. So appreciate the shout out, Rusty. KC5AJE, back to net.
Well, thanks for that notification there. Anybody else? Any questions, comments, concerns, or other announcements for that?
N5LX.
Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, man. This is N5LX. Just wanted to say, if anybody wants to do a fox hunt, on any particular weekend, just go on Discord and say, hey, I want to do a fox hunt, because I've got these things sitting here, and I can't ever tell, if people have a lot of stuff to do on their own, maybe other plans with their families and stuff for the weekends, but I'm usually available, so if anybody wants to do a fox hunt, just let me know. And likewise, there are I think some of the other guys have transmitters too, and so put them out there, I'm always game.
Roger that. Anybody else with comments, questions, or concerns and or announcements for the club?
KI5YLS.
Go ahead, Cody.
Hey, what's going on, Garrett? Hey, this is KI5YLS. Just wanted to let you know, and whoever it may pertain to, that on Echolink, the what is it again? I gotta double check. The K5TNT-R repeater and Leander, it is not working. I was on it for like a good 30 minutes and didn't hear a single thing. So, don't know if somebody want to check that out, or if somebody's trying to use that, where to find the correct one to be able to hear. I had to switch over to KA5D, but yeah, that K5TNT is dead quiet. So I don't know if that's something someone needs to look into or not. Back to net.
Yeah, Rusty, I don't know if you have any comments for that. I don't announce the K5 TMT system because I know it's been bad. I did net control from, I think, yeah, all right, roger that. All Alright, there's a Discord chat going on, but anybody else any more announcements for the next night? Alright, nothing heard, so this is a station ID. This is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N50AK. We are here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. If you're just joining us in the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system and wish to participate, be sure your tone is set to 114.8 Hertz. If you're using the University repeater system, please set your tone to 97.4 Hertz. My name is Garrett, KG5KVJ, and I am your net controller for the night's net. I'll be looking for regular check-ins shortly. No membership is required. Any licensed operator is welcome to check in. New hams are encouraged to check in. So if you're new ham, we would love to hear from you. Please come with your name and call sign now.
This is Alpha India 5, Hotel Papa, Aaron and Butte.
Keep them coming, guys. I can take them.
This is Kilo Charlie 5, Alpha Juliet Echo Chad, South Austin.
This is Kilo India 5, Papa Zulu November, Ernesto in East Austin.
This is WZ5 BBS Rusty, South Dallas.
Regular check-ins, please call now.
This is November 5 Lima X-Ray.
There was a double there. November 5, Scott and Kyle.
KI5OBD. 5LX.
N5 AFC.
This is Kilo India 5 Yankee Lima Sierra, Cody out in Killeen, Texas.
This is Kilo India 5, Mike Victor Frank, Jeffrey.
This is Kilo India 5, Romeo Bravo Tango, Kent and Pflugerville.
This is Kilo Fox 5, Delta Papa X-Ray.
This is Kilo Echo 5, Delta Papa Zulu, David in Fredericksburg.
This is Kilo 5 Tango Mike Tango.
Alright, that was quite a list there. Let me go to the top of that. I missed one of them, I know that, so we'll get you in a minute here. So we've got AI5HP, that's probably wrong. It's AI5HP. We got KC5AJE, KI5PZN, WZ5BBS, KI5OBD, N5LX, N5AFD, KI5YLS, KI5MVF, KI5RBT, KF5DPX, there was the DPZ one that I missed, and then K5TMT. So if the one that I missed, come back and give me a call, so I'll fix it real quick here.
Kilo 5 Delta Papa Zulu, Kilo Echo 5 Delta Papa Zulu, David in Fredericksburg.
Kilo Echo 5 Delta Papa Zulu. Alright, I got no information here, so I'm guessing you're not in QRZ, so that's perfectly fine. So, okay, I'm going to go to the top of the list here for regular check-ins. Nobody said no traffic that I noticed, so we're going to start with AI5HP. Aaron, how you doing tonight?
Hey, Garrett, this is AI5HP. Hey, I'm doing pretty good. I don't have much to say this week. Actually, no, wait a minute. That's right. I did my son KI5 VND and we did a fox hunt Saturday morning down here in Buda at Buda City Park. It's a little bit easier than the typical fox hunts because we already were told ahead of time that it was in the park. But it was still a new experience for us. Matt was able to find the fox. I just followed him. And that was really cool. Hopefully I'll be able to get in on one of these other fox hunts that the Oak Hill gang is doing. That one was done by the Hayes Caldwell Hams group. And yeah, that's about it. I just want to say you're doing a great job on the net. Thank you for running it tonight. And that was a last minute thing, and I appreciate it. Back to net control.
Hey, Aaron, thanks for checking in. I wanted to say, I wanted to ask actually, what kind of rig were you running to find it? Your kid found it obviously, so he must know something. So what was he using to find it? Obviously, it's a small, contained area, but what were you guys using?
So it's one of those high-end radios. I don't know if you've heard of them, Baofeng handheld, BF58 HP, or I think that's what it is. BF8 HP or something like that. Back to net.
Just like the regular rubber duck antenna on there, no loop antenna, nothing like that, just the regular antenna?
Yeah, it was just a rubber duck antenna. In fact, we deliberately, I had some whip antennas, the longer whip antennas, but we deliberately went with the rubber ducks. Now, I think Jason down here in Buda, he was using a loop antenna that he hand created, and he did pretty well with that. I think he said he was going to do some mods on it later, but yeah, we were just using rubber duck. I think what Matthew did was he loosened the connection to try to help attenuate the signal. Me, I tried the same thing, but I couldn't tell if it was just my finger wiggling or if it was actually the body block going on. But he was able to get it steady and zero in on things. So that's how he found it. Back to net.
Well, good to go. Thanks for checking in. I'm going to take any comments. Anybody got anything to say to Aaron? We got AI5HB here. Any comments or questions for Aaron?
KI5MVF.
Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Hey, Aaron. Just wondering where they announced they were doing their fox hunt. If it was on their weekly net, I might have to try and listen in. I'm curious as well as to who hosted it. Would love to chat with them, and maybe we can do some cross-club fox hunting. KI5MVF. Back to net.
Hey, Jeffrey. Yeah, AI5HP here again for ID. I know you can go to the Hayes Caldwell Hams Groups.io channel, or not channel, but Groups.io page, and see their announcements there. And they do have a net. It's Tuesday night at 7:30 on the the K5 LOT or something like that. KE5 LOT repeater. It's right before the Southside Simplex on Tuesdays. AI5HP, back to net.
Okay. Thank you so much for that information. I should do a better job of seeing what they do. I should do a better job of what our club does. I've been so busy lately. But I should do a better job of seeing what they're doing, considering I'm pretty close to Buda, and I know that I can... Pretty sure I can hit their repeaters with an HT from my house. Anyways, KI5MVF, back to net. Thank you.
Roger that. Thank you, Jeffrey. Anybody else with any questions or comments for Aaron? We got AI5HP here. Nothing heard. All right, next on the list is we got Chad, KC5AJE. Out in Austin. So what you got going on for us, Chad?
Not a lot. As Rusty said, my birthday was on Monday. I just turned 38 and got got lots of great gifts, lots of love and time with the family, which I was really grateful for. And my dad, who is a pretty big fueler of my ham radio habit, bought me a digi-rig for my birthday, so I'm really excited to get that thing going and learn how it works. But yeah, also excited to join maybe the net operator ranks here in the near future, which reminds me to thank you, Garrett, for running the net tonight. But yeah, that's about all I got. KC5AJE, back to net.
Well, thanks for the kind words there, Chad. So, what are you hoping to do with that digital rig there? You want to do some P25 or like DMR? Trying to get on that 900 megahertz or whatever it is up on north side there?
Honestly, the big motivator for getting it was to be able to do FT8 for Parks on the Air. So yeah, that I posted a couple links in the GoBox channel on the Discord, which if folks aren't signed up for Discord, they definitely should. It's a really great wealth of information for folks in the club. But yeah, I saw one of the YouTubers that had put one of those digi rigs in their GoBox with their G90, which is what I have, and yeah, it was kind of inspiring. And I've heard a lot of folks talk about FT8, and I haven't tried it yet, so I figured what a good reason to get into it and give it a try.
Good to go. So is there anybody else out there with questions or comments for KC5AJE? We got Chad here. Any questions or comments for Chad?
5 DPX.
DPX, go ahead.
I've got one of those digi-rig things with adapters for my Lab 599 as well as my Yaesu 857. And yeah, works pretty great. So if anyone out there that's looking to hook digital up, it's way better than the Signal Link, only because it's a lot smaller.
Yeah, that's been one of the things that I've appreciated about it the most, is that it's just such a small profile. So if you need to stick it in a Go box, it'll definitely fit. Appreciate your feedback and glad that it works well. It's a good endorsement. KC5AGE, back to net.
All right, we got KC5AJE here. Any more questions or comments for Chad? Nothing heard. So next on the list here is KF5PZN Ernesto. Ernesto, what's going on this week?
This is KF5PZN. Hey, Garrett, thanks again for running the net, and everybody on the net as well. For Aaron, when you get a chance, post that frequency where you guys listen to that net. I'm curious to tune in and see if I can reach you from here. Chad, happy birthday, man. Happy belated birthday. And awesome on the net controlling deal. Looking forward to see you running the net. And let's see, we did fox hunting on, what day was it? Sunday. I went out with Enrique, my son, and we found Sky's fox. I used the mobile radio in my truck to get in. I do have an attenuator there, so that helps me get a little bit closer without getting out of the truck. And then did the final stage with just my HT and a little stubby antenna that Paul KA5FZU gave me a while back. It's a tiny antenna. It's like about 1 inch long. Let's see. That's about it. It's just working. Pretty busy lately, which is a good thing in my case. And not a whole lot of radio. Let me let it reset. Not a whole lot of radio during the day like I would like to. I don't know how HF has been lately. I know that nighttime, at least here, the noise floor seems to be pretty high. I usually try to listen to the net on 80 meters on 3916, and it's just noisy. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get better in the next couple of days, or maybe my antenna is on the floor and I haven't even looked. But we'll see. That's about it from me. This is KI5PZN back to net control.
Well, thanks for checking in, Ernesto. I did want to say that I did go out and buy a President Lincoln 2. Unfortunately, however, I'm shipping it up to North Dakota with my brother. I'm trying to get him into ham radio. So I sent along with that the Tech Class license manual. I think that in the vein of propagation, you made some contact with somebody. I don't know if you announced it. I can't remember the dates when you posted it, but you made a contact pretty far up north, didn't you?
Well, was it on, because I'm all over the place, I was talking on, but that was 11 meters not too long ago. That was here on the intersection of 12 and Chicon, and I talked to a guy from my truck up in Canada, but that was 11 meters, so that's the Wildings land. Back to net control.
Roger that. All right, so we've got Ernesto here, KI5PZN. Anybody has any questions or comments for Ernesto, please come now.
KI5HP.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Thanks, Garrett. Hey, Ernesto, on Sunday, Maria was talking to you about a foundation or something that you were involved with. I missed part of what you were saying, though. Can you repeat that again for tonight?
Not a problem. Yes, so aside from what I do for a living, I've been working on this foundation, and it's two stages that we're working on. The first one is to have it's a day, kind of like a daycare place where adults with more mental disabilities go in and hang out and have a social day with their parents, take a little break or take care of business. That's phase one. And then once that's up and running and finalized, then we are going to be opening a home for individuals, again, with mental disabilities. These are for adults after they aged out of the school system. That's usually where all of the services are kind of dwindling down for them, and that's when they need it the most. And the parents get older, so we're trying to help so when the parents are no longer around, those kids could have a pretty dope life for the rest, of their stuff. That's what I've been working on. That's unfortunately it's not going to happen here in Austin because you need $1 gazillion to buy property here. But I secured a place already in Puerto Rico, so that's the plan. I'll be going, I travel quite often down there, try to get that set up. But that's what I'm doing over there. And thanks again for posting. I saw you posted that repeater where that net is on Tuesday. I appreciate that too. But yeah, that's what I've been doing, man. Back to net. This is KI5PZN.
Well, thank you, Ernesto, for announcing that. Sounds like you're doing God's work over there. I'm going to open it up back again. Any more questions or comments for Ernesto? We got KI5PZN here. Please come down.
BBS.
Go ahead, Rusty.
Hey, Ernesto, are you open for donations yet? Are you accepting donations for this, or is this something we can donate to? Is there any information about that?
Well, thank you for asking. It's a non-profit, and we do have already a non-profit set up for a couple of years, working on getting the website up and running, and something else, I guess, to be able to receive we're not quite ready to receive them, but I guess I'll put a post on Discord if it's okay when we're up and running and ready to rock and roll, because it's a full-on non-profit.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I bet everybody here would love to know. And put me down. I complain a lot about being a webmaster, but I'll be more than happy to help you out with the website and whatever I can, man. So ping me, then let me know what I can do to help. WZ5BBS.
Oh, dude, that will be absolutely awesome because obviously we need as many volunteers as we can. But thank you, I'll ping you on that. This is Cat5, PZN.
All right. So we got KF5PZN here. Any more comments or questions for Ernesto? Please come down. Nothing heard. So I'm going to move on down the list here to WZ5BBS. Rusty. How's it going, Rusty?
No complaints, man. It's cold outside, which is always nice to hang out on the sofa. It doesn't make me feel so lazy because it's cold out. Got to go have lunch. What was that, yesterday? It's been kind of a blur with Ernesto. We went over to the Almara Cafe and ate like pigs. It was very nice. Haven't done a whole lot of radio. Been playing a little on the Slacker chat. Looks like we'll send out a shout out to Chris, KV5TX, for fixing the All-Star. We were having some packet loss or something on the 320. And looks like, from what I've been monitoring, everything's back to good. And it looks like we got Matt's Echolink back up and running, so we're good to go. I've also been monitoring the 775. It looks like the feed line swap out did us good. We haven't had any real issues that I know of, and if I missed out, please feel free to let me know. But yeah, looks like everything's good. We got the DMR machine rocking, so it's life is wonderful, and I'm ready to get fat with some Thanksgiving dinner and roll into the holidays. That's about all I got, man. Back to net control.
All right, Rusty. Thanks for checking in. I always appreciate the fine accolades here, and thank you for taking care of the repeater system. I absolutely love the 320 and the 520 machine. So I'm going to open it up now to anybody with any questions or comments for Rusty. He is our club president, so if you have any gripes, this is the man to talk to. He's here right now. Please come now. Nothing heard. Easy night for Rusty. And given this is a long list, I'm going to do a station ID real quick. This is the OKO Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, hosted by the OKO Amateur Radio Club. Call sign N5OAK. We are here every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central. If you're just joining us through the OKO Amateur Radio Club repeater system and wish to participate, be sure your tone is set to 114.8 Hertz. If you're using the University Link repeater system, be sure your tone is set to 97.4 Hertz. My name is Garrett, KG5KVJ, and I am your net controller for tonight's net. The next person on the list here is Scott, KI5OBD. Take it away, Scott.
Hey, Garrett. Howdy, everybody on the net. Thanks for running the net, Garrett. Great job. You got the net logger going and everything. So, cool. I just had the best time. I got into the net late. I missed the beginning of the net, and as soon as I switched over, the first thing I heard was general check-ins. Come now. So sorry about the double there. Yeah, I had the best time with. I was playing Uno on the web with my son in California and a couple of his buddies from high school. One of them I know. We used to go shooting together. And we played Uno. We played 3 games of Uno on the web. Once it took us a while to get our account set up and our friends list connected and all that. And once we got all that going, we played 3 games. I won 2 of them, and had the best time. So I got to connect with my son there and his buddies in California. And let me let it drop. And that was awesome. We're gonna do that a lot more, I'm sure. There's a chance I might miss the Trivia Net tomorrow night. We are driving to almost all the way up to Dallas. I forget what the town is we're staying in. We're meeting a side of beef up there and bringing it home. It's all butchered and everything, but it's half an animal. And so we're bringing that home, and but we're gonna spend the night. We're heading out after work tomorrow, and we're gonna spend the night up there because we've got to meet them kind of early. So if we can get set up in the hotel and everything, I'll take the iPad and connect via Echolink. So yeah, we'll try to do that. Looking forward to it, and yeah, thanks again for running the net, and y'all have a great night, everybody. This is KI5OBD, back to net.
Well, thanks for checking in, Scott. Since you said, not short time, I'm going to open it up for any comments or questions for you. We've got Scott here, KI5OBD. Any questions or comments for Scott? Please come down.
This is KI5YLS.
Go ahead, Cody.
Hey, Scott. It's actually glad that y'all were able to hear me because I was wanting to see how this works. I'm working off my radio, and normally I can't hit the repeater with my radio. And just out of pure curiosity, I decided to turn on the radio, and I'm hearing y'all clear as day. So I don't know if y'all can hear me, if I sound good or not, but yeah, when I turned it on and heard y'all talking, I went, holy smokes, I can actually reach it. But yeah, back to you.
Yeah, Roger, Cody. I copy. It's a little light. There's a little static in the background, but yeah, you're hitting the repeater, and you're totally copyable. Right on. KI5OBD.
Awesome. Yeah, no, because like I said, normally I can't hit it, but I guess that winter cold is carrying that signal just strong enough to where I'm coming through. So that's pretty cool. All right, back to me.
Roger that. Well, appreciate you with your comment there, Cody. Anybody else have any questions or comments for Scott? We got KI5OBD here. Please come down. Nothing heard, so we're going to move on down the list here to N5LX. Sky, the man with the news. How's it going, Sky?
Hey, Garrett. This is N5LX. Pretty quiet week for me. Watched a couple of movies, did a lot of reading, and I guess I kind of shied away from working on my antennas because it was cooler, but as it turns out, I went up into the attic today, and this is like perfect weather for working in the attic, so I put another one of my dipoles up there, 40-meter, a shortened 40-meter dipole. Haven't finished trimming it and, kind of finishing it out, but that's going to be fun, and I've been collecting parts for a mag loop antenna. I've got some, I think it's 7/8 heliacs and a really nice vacuum capacitor, so I'm going to experiment with that a little bit. And I'm kind of jealous of my friend who just put up his 4-element Yagi and telling me about all this DX that he's doing, but I don't know, eventually I'll figure out something, put an antenna in my backyard. That's all I've been up to, but it's good to hear everybody on the net. Pretty good turnout tonight, N5LX back to net.
Thanks for checking in, Sky. Absolute pleasure, and thanks for doing the news, and appreciate the accolades there. I want to say, so how big is your attic? If you got that much time to work up there, there must be some space to put up a 40-meter dipole. Dipoles are pretty good, and I know, don't get too jealous, but I know that the beam is the cream of the crop, and that takes a lot more effort. So, what are you working with up in your attic, for space?
N5LX here. Well, there isn't a lot of space. It's pretty tight. I've got enough room to where I can put up dipoles that are kind of oriented with where the pattern's pretty much, it's more or less pointed east and west. So I mean, that aspect of it is good. And I just have enough room for like a 20-meter dipole, although it's bent just a little bit in the middle because of the limitation on the length. The 40-meter dipole, I did some calculations and built some coils. It's shortened, so the performance is probably going to be okay, but because of the fact that it's inductively loaded, it's going to have a narrower bandwidth or Q. But it'll work. I think I don't know, there's too much stuff in the attic, like wiring and ducts and stuff, so there is some inductive coupling going on there. And I think to get really good performance, I'm going to have to get something outside and up as high as I can get it.
Roger that. Thanks for coming back. Yeah, I know my attic is, I had to put down some plywood to crawl around up there. Pretty miserable and kind of the same situation. But anyway, I'm going to open it up to comments. I've got Sky here, N5LX. Anybody with any comments or questions for Sky? Please come now.
F-I-P-Z-N.
Go ahead, Ernesto.
Hey, Sky, thanks again for doing the news, and always nice hearing you on the radio. I'm curious on the issue with the antennas in your backyard. Is it that you have an HOA, or do you just don't have a lot of space to put like a horizontal antenna, or is a vertical for HF a possibility where you live? Curious as usual.
Yeah, Ernesto, N5LX. The backyard's not real big. I mean, it's like 40 by 40. The problem, at least for me, the problem is there's a power line along the back fence. And so, if I put something up vertically, I guess theoretically, like if it were to fall over in a storm or something, it can't be high enough to where it would hit the power line, obviously. So that's kind of a limitation. I guess if I wanted to throw money at it, I could do, like a telescoping mast, and then like put a hex beam or something on it. I really don't think a Yagi would. I don't have an HOA, but I don't think a Yagi would be. My neighbors wouldn't be real happy with something like that.
Well, I was gonna say, because I know Rusty he uses a vertical antenna for HF, and it's low. It's not high up there like the one we use for VHF and UHF. And he likes his antenna. I haven't done HF on his radio to try it out, but he likes it, and I think he runs like all the bands with that thing. And I like it. I mean, I don't have any use for that, because I have this house, this property already covered with antennas. It looks like a crazy person's house. But if I was in a place where I had limitations with space, I think that antenna, and I can't remember what that antenna that is or what flavor it is, but it seems to be really good when space seems to be the issue. He might be able to, obviously he should be able to tell you what type of antenna that is, but I think it's a good antenna for whenever you don't have a lot of room. I think that was it. Back to you, net control.
Roger that. Thank you very much. We still have Sky here, N5LX. Anybody else with any comments or questions for Sky? Please come now. Nothing heard. So we're going to go on to the next on the list, which is N5AFD, November 5, Alpha Fox Delta. Pat, what you got for us, Pat? Nothing heard. We're going to go down the list here to KI5YLS, Cody. How's it going, Cody?
Hey, how's it going? Garrett, Cody, KI5YLS. Over here in Fort Hood area. Not a whole lot's been happening. You guys are in the Discord, you can see how I got the reads on the message grid. Hope you couldn't tell in the picture what my favorite soda is. It's not like half of my favorite stuff. But other than that, I did get a new pair of Ariat cowboy boots today. my work, up at work, they told me, like, oh yeah, by the way, we're moving to black and brown shoes, and it can't be sneakers or tennis shoes. And so I asked my boss, I said, what about boots? He's like, it's not tennis shoes, I don't have any problem. Hold on, I'm going to read that. Yeah, so my boss was like, yeah, it's not tennis shoes, there's no problem. So I said, well, there you go. I like wearing boots anyways. I'm just going to go down to Cavendish and give me a pair of boots. So I did, went down and got me a pair of boots and Kent KI5 RBT. Yes, somebody is running basement in my house. But no, got me a pair of boots, restocked my refrigerator, and I'm sitting back, enjoying the net, and having a good time. Hoping everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving, because mine's going to be alright. If the store is not planned to do, I want to go see my half-sister up in Kansas, Texas, but money didn't work out. I'm going to try to go up to Texas here. Not a whole lot. Paying off my car little by little bit more. Working or sleeping.
Well, Cody, thanks for checking in tonight. You were coming in a little weak towards the end there, but you were sounding, pretty okay. A little bacon frying in the background, in the middle, and the beginning there. But we got Cody here, KI5YLS. Anybody with any questions or comments for Cody? Please come now. All right, nothing heard. So we're going to go on back up the list a little bit. I missed a call sign. I got it wrong. It's N5AFC. N5AFC, you out there? All right, nothing heard. So we're going to go back down the list here to Jeffrey. KI5MVF. Jeffrey, you around? You want to check in?
KI5MVF here. Yeah, how's it going? And I've been busy with work lately, but thanks for running the net. Garrett, glad to hear your voice. I was wondering who was going to be up there tonight. I've just been doing a lot of work stuff lately. I will say I got to say hey to Sam, AI5IR today. I was driving down 6th Street and on my way home from work and saw him standing on the corner waiting to cross the road, and I think caught him off guard a little bit, but got to say hello to him. And yeah, otherwise I've got the radio on most of the time while I'm driving around, and I try to jump on if I hear something going on. I've got 10 or more minutes, but otherwise not a whole lot of radio stuff here. I'm getting ready to head up to North Carolina for next week for family stuff. Or I say Florida and North Carolina. Lots of driving, and maybe I'll get in some other out-of-state radioing, and I love to join in on other nets as I drive through towns. It's a lot of fun. Anyways, KI5MVF, back to net.
Well, that's always fantastic to meet a fellow ham on the road there. Anyway, we got KI5MVF Jeffrey here. Anyone with any comments or questions for Jeffrey? He is also our Fox News Fox controller, I would suppose. So comments or questions for Jeffrey, KI5MVF, please come now. Nothing heard. Well, Jeffrey, thanks for checking in. We're going to bid you a 73s and a good night. And we're going to go on down the list to the next one, KI5RBT. Kent. How's it going, Kent?
Garrett, thanks for running the net. I haven't been around for a couple of weeks. I guess this is the third week. I had the flu or RSV or something for a while, and I'm just getting off it to the point where I can actually breathe and talk and function a little bit. Sleeping would be nice, but glad to be back. Hopefully I can rub two brain cells together tomorrow for trivia and actually play a game. KF5RBT.
Thanks for checking in, Kent. You are the resident robot, the high score on a lot of the boards for Friday Night Trivia. So glad you're back, or back-ish. And I wonder if the RSV is what I've had the last couple of days because it's been miserable. I thought it was allergies or asthma. It might or might not be. Who knows? But anyway, we got Ken here, KF5RBT. Anybody with any comments or questions for Ken, please come now.
PZN.
Go ahead, Ernesto.
Hey Ken, good to hear you on the net. It's been a while. Don't be a stranger, and I'm glad to hear that you are feeling better. I'm sure you did a bunch of reading in all those weeks that you were down, and you probably have way more material to hit the net. But yeah, man, don't be a stranger, and hop on the repeater, man. We enjoy talking to you. Back to net control, KF5PZN.
Thanks, Ernesto. So we've got KF5RBT here. Anybody else with any comments or questions for Ken?
I apparently watched entire miniseries and stuff like that, and I don't remember them, so it's been a strange couple of days. KF5RBT.
Sorry, Ken, I doubled with you for the first half of that conversation. KF5RBT, this is net control. I doubled with you for the first half of that conversation. Can you say it again?
Sure, sorry about that. I was just telling Ernesto thanks for the comments, and I didn't do any reading, so I didn't fill my brain with anything. I mostly slept for the past 3 weeks. KF5RBT, back to net.
Roger that. So we've got Ken here, KF5RBT. Anybody else with any comments or questions for Ken? Nothing heard. All right, so we're going to roll on down the list here to KF5DPX. KF5DPX, how's it going this week?
It's KF5DPX. It's going pretty well. I got back from Big Bend Ranch State Park. Went out there this weekend. Was with Jake, KG5DRT, and Sally K, I5RX team. I think she's still out there, actually. Did activated a park for a couple days in a row there, and then I had one failed activation. I got probably about 200 feet from the summit, but it was going down 10, 20 feet of cliff face, over about 200 feet and back up, and it was 3 p.m. So I had to make the treacherous climb back down because there was no trails up to this point. But the second peak, the three of us managed to get up to. So did a summit activation and a park activation this weekend.
Holy cow! That sounds like a lot of work just to get a call up out of a peak. I can't fathom that. But anyway, so we've got KF5DPX here. Anybody with any comments or questions for KF5DPX?
I will say, getting to the campsite was took about an hour to go 30 miles of well-maintained dirt road, and then the campsite was 8 miles beyond the internal ranger station, and that 8 miles took 35 minutes in a 4x4.
Now you're begging a question. So what were you running in if it took that long for 8 miles in a 4x4? You guys running a Jeep, or you got like a big 4x4 diesel? Like what are you driving in?
Well, I got a 2017 almost stocked Tacoma TRD off-road, the cab. It one, and the only modifications I've done to it is I put these Nitto Ridge Grappler tires, which are basically the equivalent of like maybe a 30 instead of like a 29. So it's like a 75 series instead of a 70 series tire, and it's also like it's what the E rating, so it's like meant for like F-150s and whatnot. There's lots of thorns out there and stuff like that, so I knew I'd be doing stuff like this, and so I upgraded the tires, and other than that, I have real running boards. I had the Predator side steps that came with it, and I knocked those off out at Hidden Falls Adventure Park a couple of years back, so I upgraded to real rock sliders.
Roger that. So we've got KF5DPX here. Anybody with any comments or questions for KF5DPX? Please come down. Nothing heard. Appreciate y'all checking in with us. Next on the list here is KE5 Delta Papa Zulu. There's no QRZ info, so I am unsure as to the name, but Kilo Echo 5 Delta Papa Zulu, are you still out there?
Roger. Kilo Echo 5 Delta Papa Zulu here. Yeah, my original stomping grounds were just north of the Big Bend Ranch State Park. It is very isolated and very remote and beautiful country, though. I envy you. It was a good time for them down there. Anyway, y'all had a very interesting net. It was very informative. Sure was nice to listen in to other like-minded, like-interested folks. And I look forward to eavesdropping again later on. With that, I'm going to turn it back over to Net. This is KE5 DPZ. Here on y'all's final.
Well, so I didn't hear a short time or no traffic, but I'm going to turn it back over to the net, I suppose. And anybody with any comments or questions for KE5DPZ Kilo Echo 5 Delta Papa Zulu, any comments or questions, please come down.
KF5DPX.
Go ahead, DPX.
I'm just curious what part, where north of the park are you from? Are you from like Marfa, Alpine, or Fort Davis? And of the triangle, Fort Davis is my favorite.
Where I grew up was just south of Alpine, where we could look out our back window and see Elephant Mountain State Park. And then from Elephant Mountain State Park, if you're there, you can look southwest, and you can see the backside of Big Bend Ranch State Park. And that's kind of where you would have ended up after driving as far as you did. KE5DPZ.
Yeah, I bet. So the mountain we climbed, we were 8-ish miles north of the Saucedo Ranger Station, and we stayed at the La Mota 2 campsite, and we went to the top of the of La Mota Mountain. So where you could probably, you know exactly where we were. Over.
Roger. That country down there is just phenomenal. It's beautiful. Everything about it either stings or stinks, but it's probably the most beautiful country that God ever created.
Agreed. KF5DPX back to net.
Roger that. Thanks for checking in with us. We still have KE5DPZ, I think, on the line here. Anybody else have any comments or questions for Kilo Echo 5 Delta Papa Zulu? Please come down.
DBS.
Go ahead, Rusty.
Yeah, I just wanted to invite you to trivia tomorrow night. If you're not doing anything at 9 p.m., we got the trivia net right here on this frequency amongst many. So feel free to drop in n5oak.org and then click on the trivia net tab. We'll give you all the details. But yeah, if you're not doing anything tomorrow night at 9, come hang out with us and play trivia.
look forward to it. I will put it on my agenda for things to do tomorrow evening. Because now, trivia is not really my forte, but I do enjoy the camaraderie that goes with it. KE5DPZ.
Very cool, man. Well, we look forward to seeing you. And, 9 p.m., come over and hang out. Lots of people say they're not good at trivia, and those are the ones that usually win. So come we got Kent, KI5RBT. He's the trivia robot, so see if you can come stick him down into second place. It's always fun to see. But, yeah, welcome, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. WZ5BBS, back to net control.
All right, I guess this is going to be the last call. Last call for KE5DPZ. Anybody with any comments or questions for KE5, Kilo Echo 5, Delta Papa Zulu, please come down.
NW5NDS.
Go ahead, Rod.
Yeah, I want to say good evening to him over there in Fredericksburg, and I wonder what are you using? What's your station over there? And good to hear you on the net.
Well, I thank you so much for the welcome, KE5DPZ. My radio is a TH9800 by TYT, and my antenna is a Discone antenna that I've got hanging on a string up in the attic. I've got a J-pole up there as well, but it doesn't have quite the reach as the Discone does, and that may be partly due to where it's located in amongst the ductwork, because as was mentioned earlier, ductwork and RF aren't friends.
Oh, roger that. Well, we talk most mornings with Jim over there, K5EWS, who comes in to one of our repeaters via Echolink. So I was surprised that you're able to make it from over there, especially with the Discone. Wow. Well, good to have you. And join us. We're here every Thursday night. W5NDS, back to net.
All right. Thanks, Rod. That was a fantastic conversation there. I guess last call for, KE5 Delta Papa Zulu. Anybody else with any comments or questions for Delta Papa Zulu, please come down.
What's his name?
I don't know. I failed to grab it. KE5DPZ, what is your name, by the way? Because you're not in QRZ, so I don't have it here.
Right. The name here is David, Delta Alpha Victor India Delta, and I signed in to QRZ after you had said that, and it took my call sign and logged me in just as if I'd always been there. So you may double check, or I'm not sure, but Kilo Echo 5 Delta Papa Zulu is my new one as of 10 years ago. My old one was I can't even remember. But it's old and no good anymore. KE5DPZ.
Yeah, quick comment on that. QRZ's kind of goofy with some of their metadata. So there's some weird place you got to go to update some of that. Anyway, I think I'm going to be done. For check-ins with you. I'm going to roll down the list to K5TMT. Matt, how's it going, Matt? If you're still with us.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Sorry I've missed the past, I guess, several nets now. Work's been really busy before the holidays, and managed to get a couple of computer projects done over the weekend. I got a new camera software going with integrated with Home Assistant on my home network, and it's been really great. So it was nice to get into something that, was outside of work, different project, and did some wrapping up with that. And I guess my next project is going to be setting up some sort of watchdog timer on my repeater to make sure it stays connected to the Oak this time, so I apologize about that tonight. That's about all I got. K5TMT, back to net.
Well, thanks for checking in with us, Matt. I was kind of curious because we had Cody try to check in to the net through Echolink through your Echolink node. I was kind of curious as to what's going on with that.
So, Echolink is working on my repeater, but for whatever reason, my connection between the Oak dropped. It's not the first time it's happened. And I don't know which side dropped. It could have been mine. But I just need to figure out some way to make sure that if it does disconnect, that there's some kind of logic in there on my side that will try to reestablish.
Roger that. Thanks for coming back. We've got K5TMT here, Matt, and a little bit of a ghost. So if you have any questions or comments from Matt, please come now.
VBS.
Go ahead, Rusty.
I think you've been gone for more than a couple of nets, but it's good to hear you back on the net. And I'm curious about this camera system. What all can it detect? Because you were sending me some pictures, and it didn't detect that woman walking a cat. So what in the world? What good is that, man?
Well, it can detect a lot of things. It can. There's a long list of entities it can detect as an object, besides just the regular motion detection. So it can detect a person, a dog, a cat. It can even detect a zebra, a toilet, a hot dog, a wine glass, a beer bottle. You name it, it's probably in the list. And it works better if you have a Coral TPU for processing that data, which I have recently acquired and paid way too much money for.
All right, well, I'm looking forward to your video update on Discord about, seeing toilets going down the road and a hot dog of all things. That sounds like, a bunch of petty stuff that roommates fight over, but at least the camera system will keep its eye open. Good to hear you on the net, man. WZ5VBS, back to that control.
Thanks for the comments, Rusty. All right. Any more comments or questions for Matt? We got K5TMT here. Please come now. Nothing heard. All right, that's the bottom of the list. So I'm going to do a station ID. You are listening to the N5OAK Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system, located here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. On the Oak Hill Amateur Radio System and the University Link repeater system. If you are listening to us on the Oak Hill, please set your tone to 114.8 hertz, as well as if you're on the University Link repeater system, please set your tone to 97.4 hertz. No membership is required. So we are in the middle of regular check-ins. So if you want to join us now, please come now with your regular check-in.
This is Whiskey 5 Sierra Delta. Rick, no traffic.
This is W5NDS.
This is Alpha Golf 5 Sierra Juliet.
This is W5KEX Lance, no traffic.
Second round of regular check-ins. Please come now. We've got quite a list here, but keep them coming. Alright, nothing heard. So we're going to go to the top of the list here. We got W5 Sierra Delta. Richard, he had no traffic. And we got W5 NDS. Rod, what you got, Rod?
Well, good evening to everybody. I've been monitoring the net off and on, but had to eat some supper, etc. And I was chatting with various frequencies here today. I checked out 60 meters with Sammy. And then we went to 17 meters, chatted for a while, and we chatted for a while on 5-2, and I had a nice chat with Sam as he mowed K5MJM as he motored back from a medical appointment, etc. It didn't work anything extraordinary. So that's about my news from here. Back to net. And Garrett, you're just becoming an old hand at this net control duty. So keep it up.
All right, Rod, appreciate you checking in, and thanks for the kind words. So we've got W5NDS here, Rod. Anybody with any questions or comments for Rod? Please come now.
BBS.
Go ahead, Rusty.
All right, Rod, you said you had dinner, but you didn't say anything about dessert. I'm dying to know, man. What'd you have?
Well, there's one cookie left in the Mandola's box out there. I'm probably gonna have to eat that for dessert. That's about the best news I can give you right now, Rusty.
Roger, man. As long as they're taking care of you, that's all that matters. Enjoy your cookies. WZ5BBS.
Well, that sounds like a famine to me. We have W5NDS here, Rod. Anybody else have any comments or questions for Rod? All right, nothing heard. So next on the list was AG5SJ, but he had no traffic. So the last one here is W5KEX, Lance. Lance, how's it going? Whiskey 5 Kilo Echo X-Ray, you still with us?
He said no traffic.
Roger that. I missed that part of it. All right, we're at the bottom of the list then. Thank you, Rusty. All right, so we're going to do a third round of regular check-ins. Any more check-ins for the regular check-ins? Please come now. All right, nothing heard. So I'm going to do a station ID real quick. This is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, Thursday.net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club. Call sign N50AK. We are here every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central. If you're just joining us through the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system and wish to participate, be sure your tone is set to 114.8 Hertz. If you are using the Universal Link repeater system, be sure your tone is set to 97.4 Hertz. My name is Garrett, KG5, KVJ, and I am your controller for tonight's net. Before I close the net tonight, let me read you a list of the local nets so that you can stay radioactive throughout the week. We have the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club's 6-meter Monday hosted by Rick at 5A. That's on the 50.125 megahertz frequency upper sideband at 8 p.m. On Tuesdays, we have the Oak Hill Southside Simplex Net hosted on the 146.555 megahertz frequency FM at 8 p.m. This is not generally hosted. It's actually the calling frequency for 2 meters. So it's hosted at somebody different every week, or there's usually traffic there. And there's also the DMR Soundcheck Net hosted by George, W5JDX, and Tommy, N5ZNO on 441.300 at 8 p.m. On Wednesdays, there's the UT Amateur Radio Club Wednesday Night Net hosted by Matthew, KN4LRA, University Link Repeater System, and the N5OAK Repeater System at 8 p.m. On Thursdays, the Oak Hill CW Net, hosted by Pat, W5WTH, on 3532 megahertz at 7:30 p.m., just before this net. There's also this net, the Oak Hill Thursday Night Net, hosted by a different operator every week. And it's on the Oak Hill N5OAK Repeater System and the University Link Repeater System at 8 p.m. On Fridays is the Oak Hill Friday Night Trivia Net, hosted by Rusty, WZ5BBS, our club president. It's on the N5OAK Repeater System and the University Link Repeater System at 9 p.m. On Saturdays is the Austin Amateur Radio Club's Elmer Net, hosted by Jeff, W5MNW, on the 146.940 megahertz repeater system at 7 p.m. There's also the 220 megahertz guys original preservation net, hosted by Steve, KB9DSW, on 224.100 repeater at 9 p.m. On Sundays is the Austin Amateur Radio Club's 10-meter net, hosted by Rod, W5NDS, on a 28.410 megahertz upper sideband at 3 p.m. There's also the Travis County Aries Weekly Net on 147.360 at 7 p.m. The weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto, KI5PZN, and Maria, KI5SYX. It's an absolute joy, on the University Link Repeater System and the N5OAK Repeater System at 7:30 p.m. Lastly, on Sundays, is the Austin Amateur Radio Club's Swap Net, hosted by Jeff, N5MNW, at 146.940 repeater at 9 p.m. I'd like to give a shout out to Sky N5LX and Ernesto KI5PZN for jumping at the last minute there and taking care of the news and taking care of the questions. And I want to say thank you for joining us for the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, a service of the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5OAK. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. We're a non-profit based in Austin, Texas. For more information, please visit n5oak.org, where you can read about the club, sign up for our email list, or donate to support the continued growth of amateur radio. But you might also consider joining our Discord group, where we stay in touch when we're not on the radio. We would also like to thank Kyle, KA5D, for linking the University Link Repeater System to this net. I'm Garrett, KG5, KVJ, and from my QTH here in Buda, Texas, 73, and thanks again for hanging out with us tonight. The system is now returned to regular amateur use.
Good job, Garrett. Thanks for running the net, man. WZ5BBS.
KF5CCN from WB5TXW, over. KF5CCN from WB5TXW, over. CQ from WB5TXW.
W5TXW, KG5KVJ, I read you, Lima Charlie.
KVJ, I think, from Whiskey Bravo 5 Tango X-Ray Whiskey, over.
Whiskey Bravo 5TXW, yep, I read you. You're sounding fantastic tonight. What's going on?
Not a whole lot. My name is George. I'm in North Austin, Crestview neighborhood to be specific. Right now listening to HF radio, talking to you, over.
Well, HF radio, I would actually roger up to talk to you, but I think that anything that I would have to send to you would skip right over you, because I got a nice off-center fed dipole in the backyard down here in Buda, but I don't think it would make it to you just by skip.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I'd hear you. Turn your radio on 3.916 and see if you can hear those guys. HF bands have been turning out at least 75 meters, has been great this fall, over.
Give me a second, let me grab a pen real quick. What was it, 3.916?
Affirmative, over.
Alright, so I'm talking on the same radio as my HF rig, so I'll QS1 at 3.916.
Oh no, just listen to them. Don't talk, they're having a net. Listen and see if you can hear those guys, over.
Roger that. I only have one radio here, and it's Yaesu FT911A, so I gotta change the antennas and change freaks, so I'm not gonna hear you if you got something else.
This is WB5TXW.
I can hear him. 65 KVJ here.
Great. What's your name? Over.
Name here is Garrett. Golf Alpha Romeo Romeo Echo Tango Tango. Garrett.
Garrett. Gotcha. My name is George. Well, I get on this repeater. On 3916, they have a couple of nets earlier, and then a trivia net. I like trivia games, that sort of stuff, and then I get on this repeater and, see who's around. I'm about 4 miles from the repeater, not too far away, so pleased to make your acquaintance. Over.
Roger that, and it's likewise. Pleased to meet your acquaintance too. I think I heard about you. There was one time I think we were fixing to start the net, and there was a comment made about something about a frequency in use, and it got me a little ruffled there.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. That guy didn't know what he was talking about, but, 2 meters and 440 is really just CB radio these days, Over.
Is that really what your feeling is? Because, CB to me is it's the entry level into ham radio, and then, 2 meters and 440 is, it's obviously tech class license, they're all learning about it, and then you get onto HF bands, and that's the big kids club, because there's nothing holding you down, there's no repeaters to hold you down, it's just, if you can make it, you can make it, so I totally get where you're coming from on that.
Well, it's all in perspective. I got my novice license in 1976. Things have changed a little bit. That individual said he was registered to call the net. There's no such thing. I know that. So I just stay away from that stuff. Over.
Roger that. I totally understand, and given the current situation with everything going on in the world, I can understand a whole lot more.
However, you're in Buda. What kind of radio and antenna are you using? Over.
Well, down here to hit you, I'm going through the N5OAK repeater at 147.320. So I'm using a 2-meter dipole antenna that I built myself. It's sticking up off the top of my Radio Shack here on some PVC pipe with the air choke for a Balun. It's going down to a Yaesu FT991A radio. For HF, I use a W2AU Balun, a 4-to-1 Balun for an off-center fed inverted V dipole that I have stretching across my property here. We got about a half an acre or so. So that's how I get on HF and do FT8 or any phone conversations there. Where are you? You're at near the Y and Oak Hill. What are you running out there? Are there any HOAs out there?
No, I'm in the Crestview neighborhood in North Austin.
My apologies. Yeah, you did say that the North Austin neighborhood. So what repeater are you hitting there? Because there's a bit of a net that goes on, and they connect a bunch of repeaters together. So which one are you hitting?
441.325 right now. The one at the Big U. Over.
Roger that. Are you just hitting that with an HT, or you got some other rig you're hitting it with?
Nah, keep in mind, I'm about 4 miles due north of the Texas Tower. Alright, this is Kenwood, TMV 1 Alpha, and I'm using a Comet. Dual bander. It's a 17-foot long. It's a repeater type antenna. And that's MC60 microphone. Over.
Roger that. I'm not sure that Kenwood. It might be a Kenwood TMV 71 Alpha. And I have that same radio in my rig. That's what I got when I got my tech class license.
Yeah, well, it's a great radio. I have an advanced class license. Over.
Yep, I got my general just this year, so sorry you're talking to a young buck here.
No big problem. You got to start somewhere. I got my advanced in 1979. At the Big Ham Fest up there at Dayton, Ohio. Over.
Roger that, Dayton, Ohio. Well, I'm from Illinois, so KG5, KVJ for D.
WB5TXW here. I'm a New Yorker. I was born in New York City. My parents were from Rockland County. My grandparents were from elsewhere. I was an Air Force brat. I lived all over the country. But we moved to Texas for the second time in '69. I was a kid. I was kidnapped by my parents. There's some years in the beginning I don't remember because my dad was Air Force. We lived all over the lower 48. But I've been here in Austin since 1970. Over.
Yep, roger that. That sounds like a bit of a rough life. Not sure about all that situation there. I can't say I'm the same. I grew up in a decent household in the 1990s, and the family fell apart in the early 2000s, and I lived with my grandparents for a little while, with my father, and then I joined the Marine Corps and helped a buddy out here in Texas, and here I am to stay.
Okay. I have no complaints. Austin is obviously not the city it was when I was a kid, but you either adapt or you die. Over.
Yep, roger that. My wife's a native Austinite. She was born in East Texas, and then her parents moved to Austin in the early 2000s, and she's seen this city evolve, and she's not super happy with it, but that's as much as I can say on that.
Well, I don't know what you can say. It's a real phenomenon. Central Texas has turned into a real high-tech center. I was a computer programmer for decades. I made good money. I can't complain about it. If it was real fun, I'd still be in it. It burns you out pretty quick.
if you're on call 24/7. But I do all right here. You got to know when to get out and about, when to avoid the traffic, over.
That's a solid, Roger. Yeah, the traffic thing kind of burnt me out a little bit. I used to live in South Austin and work up Northwest Austin. I'm part of the tech industry, being a younger buck too. But my father-in-law, he worked in IT for a long while, and he was a Oracle database administrator for a good bit. And he's 70 years old now, and I don't think he can enter into the industry anymore just because his knowledge is so old. And I totally understand kind of where we're coming from on that. KG5 KVJ here.
WB5TXW. Well, I'm 70 years old myself this year. And, well, it depends what niche you're into. I mean, I started out with zero, you know what I'm talking about, 00 through FF, over.
That's hexadecimal, 00 through FF, so absolutely after 16 and 0 as well, 0. So I'm very familiar with that. I started my career off as a network administrator or something like network engineer, and grew up into being contact center engineer. So totally know where you're coming from with the hexadecimal there.
Well, when I was started out, nobody was an engineer. We were programmers, so I did 00 through FF, and then assembler, and then COBOL. And then all kinds of strange languages that the management would bring in, but really, you can tell your father-in-law, you talk to somebody who did assembler and COBOL, and I'm still getting calls from people who want me to go to work for them. So I did programming, and then I got into management, which didn't bring me any happiness, and then data security, which was terribly interesting. My last 10 years was data security, in charge of the program at the great Texas Department of Public Safety, which my advice is don't ever work for cops, over.
Roger that. I hear you. Yeah, my father-in-law, he did COBOL. He phrased the language as, well, I guess phrases. That there were words, phrases, and paragraphs. Is how that language is structured. But I'm not trying to be on too much longer. However, I will keep you in my back pocket and try and get my father-in-law on the radio here to talk to you. When are you typically active?
Oh, I get on this repeater, let's see, I get on 3916 mostly, HF. They have a net from 9 to maybe 9:40 or 9:45 p.m., and then I get on. Yeah, it's talking about the old days of programming. I was on call 24/7 for decades, you get burned out. You used to be able to make good money. I'm sure you can make great money now, but it's a trip. All right. Well, nice to make your acquaintance, over.
Roger that. Nice talking to you too, WB5TXW. Hope to meet you again.
Yeah, right. So WB5TXW, George here. Tell me your call sign one more time, please. Over.
My call sign is Kilo Golf 5 Kilo Victor Juliet. My name here is Garrett.
Gary, Kilo Victor Juliet. Well, great. Maybe you get your father-in-law on here and we can have a computer programmer mishnash, racist, I don't know. That's kind of interesting to talk about, you know, the history. All right, 7-3, take it easy, over.
73 is WB5TXW, KG5, KVJ, I'm going to be clear.